Hi friends, welcome back to Quick Poetry Knowledge. Mehjubin here. In today's video, I'm going to narrate the summary of the poem, A Wagon of Shoes. This poem was composed by Yiddish poet and Holocaust survivor Abraham Sutzkever. This poem was composed on the 1st of January 1943. So let's take a look at the summary. The poet begins by describing the movement of a wagon, which is a carriage or a pushcart. He says that the wheels of a wagon are being pulled continuously by a group of people. At first he cannot understand what is being brought on the wagon. Then he can see that shoes are being carried here. The shoes are all thumping and moving. He wonders about the owners of these shoes. Whom do these shoes belong to? He begins to question himself as well as the reader. Next, the poet compares the wagon to a khupa or a wedding canopy. In the glow of the evening, the wagon bears a mesmerizing look because the shoes piled on the wagon are constantly vibrating as though they are people dancing at a wedding reception. The poet can recognize all the shoes heaped on the wagon. The shoes are all of good quality and stylish looking, like people used to wear to a wedding or a ball dance. Some of those are like holiday shoes, which people wear while on a vacation. All the shoes are as bright and colorful as a ball dance gathering. As he sees them all spreading out on top of the moving wagon, he gets a feeling of familiarity because he had known all the people to whom these shoes belonged. The heels of the shoes are making a tapping sound as the wagon continues to move. The shoes are being personified here. They are given a human shape to represent the people to whom these shoes belonged. The shoes bear no feeling of hatred or ill will against those people who made the shoe owners disappear. They make light conversation as they move on the wagon. They ask one another about the direction that the wagon is taking. They wonder where they are being taken to. They can see that the wagon is being pulled from the old passageways of Vilna in Lithuania to Berlin in Germany. The poet now addresses the reader. He says that he has no courage to talk about the identity of the people who were the owners of these shoes. His heart hammers faster as he remembers them. Next, he addresses the shoes. He asks them to tell him the exact truth. He wonders where all those human feet that had slipped into the shoes had vanished to. Some of the shoes on the wagon were pumps with shining buttons which looked like drops of dew. However, these pump shoes were in real bad shape. The poet wonders where the little bodies of these shoe wearers had gone to. Where were all the women who had worn these pump shoes? The poet also noticed a whole lot of small shoes belonging to children. But the children who apparently wore them were nowhere in sight. He also noticed a pair of bridal shoes in the pile. They were brighter and cleaner than the other shoes. However, he did not see the bride who must have worn these shoes. Then the poet saw his mother's shoes. He found them amid some clogs and children's sandals. The mother had worn these shoes cheerfully on the holy occasion of Sabbath, when she would get ready to light the ceremonial candles at the time of prayers. The heels of all those shoes continue to make the tapping sound as the wagon is being pulled towards Berlin. The poet feels suffocated as his trembling fingers touch the shoes. He feels as though his breath is a curse because he thinks that it is pointless for him to be still alive now. He realizes that he has become an orphan now. Then the poet says that he still remembers that period of time in the past when he saw a wagon full of shoes being pulled through the street. The people who had worn those shoes were all recently gone, and so the shoes were still warm from their body heat. The wagon of shoes was like a horrible gift from the killers. The poet remembers how he saw his mother's shoe in the heap. It was twisted, it had no proper shape, and he also noticed some blood on it. When he recognized his mother's shoe, the poet ran after the wagon, calling out her name. He pleaded with his dead mother's spirit to trap his body with her love. He wanted to kneel down on the ground and kiss his mother's dusty, throbbing shoe with prayers. He wanted to wear the shoe on his head as a symbol of devotion and reverence, just as the tefillin is worn on the head by observant adult Jews during prayers. However, as he ran after the wagon, he realized that all the other shoes looked like the one worn by his mother. He stretched out his hand to hold the shoe belonging to his mother, but when all the other shoes looked like the one used by his dead mother, his arms dropped down, for he felt that he was in some kind of dream and that certain things were not in his control. Ever since that period in his life when he first saw the wagon of shoes, the poet's mind has become twisted like his mother's shoe. He can no longer think logically. He still wails in his prayer as he used to in the past. He feels as though more tragedies will strike him and he waits for them. He feels sick in his prayers. He knows that there is nobody to listen to his appeals. By composing this poem, he feels that he has got rid of an affliction from a body which does not really appear to belong to him. The poet concludes the poem by saying that he is completely alone in this world now at age 30. He has no family to call his own. All those people who call themselves as father, mother or child are now dead and gone. Their decomposed bodies rest in their graves. This poem recounts the horrors of the Holocaust. It's a grim reminder of the helplessness and shock that had affected the victims after the loss of their loved ones. With this, I come to the end. We'll meet you again soon. Bye.